Alright, so we are here, and the first lesson that we are doing is to launch the program. So you go, I'm in my launch pad here, click on Finale. Here it is, the program launches. Splash screen, so the copyrights and information about the company Make Music. Right, this is the launch window, and in the launch window there are a few objects and few things that I would want to point out. Three main areas that the launch window is divided that I would want to consider. There is also the tip of the day. Create new music, open existing music, and the learning center. I'm gonna just give a quick preview of what's in the learning center, and I recommend that you go through the videos. I will go through the things that we need for this class, but going through the videos that they have prepared is very important. Quick start videos. So of course it will take you to the internet, which it's doing, and here you have an interface there that gives you the various things that the program actually can do. So on the left column, there it is that you could look through different interfaces and through the different iterations of the program. You will be able to see what we're about to do from the setting up of the program, one of those things, the tutorials. It's going to give you an example of what it has, how to begin a new project. So this is more like the proprietor's tutorial to their own program. You can't get it better than this. Alright? So please go through the quick start videos. There is also the user manual and a tutorial guide, all of which are online. Pretty much the same interface that we had, that we're looking at, will get us through all of those things. So, alright, look at this tutorial, the playback. So it actually explains what it is, shows you the different symbols, and you obviously would have had the screen in front of you to follow along. So pay attention to the Learning Center. Now, for my purposes at this time, we're going to look at the different ways that we can create new music or start a project. I'm going to spend some time on the setup wizard, but you can simply just call on a default document and boom, it presents you with an interface with a manuscript basically from which we can begin working. Alright, so I'm going to close that and I'm going to bring back the launch window. Notice that I use File, Launch Window, and here it is. There's also templates. Now what templates are? These are pre-made scores that would already have the staffs that you would want to use. So for example, a brass band. Definitely you get all the different instruments that would make up a generic brass band. Alright, so that's what the templates are, and of course you can create your own templates and be able to go back to that set of instruments each time that you want to create a music for that set of instruments. Scanning. If it is that you have a scanner connected, then you could simply scan the music. At this present time, 2014 comes with Smart Score, which is a light version of a scanning software that relates to music, that uses a optical mark reader to convert from the scanned image, which is usually in TIFF format, to score. We will explore this at a later date. We'll cancel that. I do not have a scanner connected. There's also the exercise wizard, and these exercises are developed for Smart Music, which is another software that does smart accompaniment. You can prepare smart accompaniment files in Finale. Basically, what Smart Music does is the user would select one line, one staff, and allow that staff to be the tag, the hashtag for following the music. So you would get your trumpet, you would get your recorder, whatever instrument, and while you play those notes, there would be a microphone through which your tempo would be taken from, and the whole file will be played according to you, or technically following you. Right, so it allows you to practice slowly, to build up speed, and to also have the feel of having a full orchestra or whatever that accompaniment is, a piano accompaniment going along with you. So we bring up the different lessons here now. We're not going to go into this. Alright. What we are going to go into is Setup Wizard. We'll use this one most frequent in this course. So Setup Wizard. We've got a document dialog page in front of us that, of course, these are the ensembles that you can see here, which are the templates, and we can also create a new ensemble. I'm going to create a new ensemble, but before I do, let's just experiment what would happen in a brass quintet. You can delete ensembles here, you can create new ensembles, you can change the page or the page type on which to print your score, depending on what you have in your printer, what's your intention. We'll leave it at letter size, and you can put the score, which is a master score, which has all the instruments when we're thinking about band music, orchestra music, etc., on one type of paper, and you can have the parts on another type of paper. So whatever your plan, you can utilize this portion of the screen to set that. These are different document style. Usually just leave it at engraved style, but you could also have the handwritten style. Alright, let's continue and see what it does. Immediately there are two trumpets, one French horn in F, a trombone, and a tuba. And that's basically what you would find in a brass quintet. Now let's go back. We're going to create a new ensemble. Let's choose some instruments. Go to the next screen. Now again, in this we can create different categories, or there are different categories of instruments available for us. Let's say wind ensemble. So we realize that there are some things that were deselected: choral, marching band, different sets of instruments, and folkloric instruments, different groups, electric. Right? So I'm going to leave it on all so that we can have as much options as possible. So I'm going to use a piano. So I'm going to use a voice. Alright. So I'm going to use a bass instrument. Plucked strings. Acoustic bass. Right, that's basically my ensemble. Don't want to use anything else. You can experiment. For this score, I would want the bass at the bottom and the voice at the top. So as you click on the instruments, you realize that you can add or remove instruments. You can also add a vertical space to separate how they would appear, and you can use the toggle these up and down arrows to rearrange your different items. Okay, so I now have voice on top, piano and acoustic bass below. Right here you now have the ensemble under being created as a new ensemble. You can save this current ensemble, type in the name, whatever you want to call the ensemble, and save. I'm not going to save it. I'm going to continue to the next screen. Right here you would put in the title of the item that you are doing. Let's just make up a title, Merry Widow. Right? If there's a subtitle, composer, arranger, lyricist, there any copyright information. Right. Then you have to choose the time signature. It takes the regular types of time signature as well as irregular types. The question mark, you can actually create your own time signature. If you had a irregular one has 5/4. Just toggle the sliders up and down. Do some for experimentation, right? And you get the different types of time signatures that you would want. We can also beam them in different ways or use composite time signatures, which are changing time signatures such as 3 and 2. Alright, let's say that that is 3/4 and 2/4. So if we wanted our time signature to look like this, that's where we would do that. We're not doing that. Just leaving it at 5/4, as well as we could have selected any of these. There are any tempo markings, changing up the key, select whether major or minor, and write the key that you would need. If there is an acousis or a pickup measure, this is where we would enter that in. And if we want any specific tempo marking, I think I'm going to use something like 76 Andante. Alright. The number of measures that you would need for your item, well, let's say I'm going to need 16. Good. And I'm finished. So that's what the setup wizard does. Then it creates the score setting according to what we had supplied. So that's actually how we launch a document and set up our project.